Hello there, fellow summoners. Mad Dog HT here. Updated my profile today in response to Chadwick Boseman passing away. It's kind of a sad day to see our Black Panther not be with us. Yeah. So I'm uploading this video. I did this all of Variant 5 within the first day. So this is almost 3 weeks later, getting all these videos uploaded for the last chapter. This is chapter 3.2 with Venom as the boss. This first fight has Symbiote Supreme. The nodes that it has is Prey on the Weak and Powerful From Afar with the mitosis symbiote node. Now, took me a little bit to get used to this Symbiote Supreme. I think I reset twice, and yeah, even on this attempt, it didn't go super great, but I was able to solo him and have about half health or so left. The tricky thing is, if you're far away from him, you get the power gain buffs on him, which Doom can steal, which is great. And the Prey on the Weak, I'm trying to think of what that node is. Yeah, it's the node where when you have a buff expire, they get power gain. So, this whole line was kind of annoying. I didn't do terribly great on it, but I did get through it. Here we have Void next. So yeah, you don't want him getting a lot of power gain. You don't want to be having buffs expire to give him additional power gain. So on this one, I activated the Tranquilizer to try to power lock Void some, and I did pretty well, except towards the very end. I think I die on this one, but Stealth pretty much got Void down the whole way. Yeah, so you just really need to be mindful of your 10-hit combo. And as you can see, as you get farther away from him, Void gets the power gain buffs, which can just kind of be a pain in the butt. But you see, so far I'm doing pretty well. I'm managing the combo. I went a little early on my 10 there, and you can see I'm gonna get an IEP debuff on me, and it ticks 700 a piece. So I do get that shrugged off, and then shortly hereafter, yeah, I just miss that L1 evade, which is sad. I would have I think made it through, but I got a debuff applied, and then he got another one. So yeah, 2, and it was done for. So so there we go. So there is Void. He's at 14%. I went in with Claire, and with Claire and with her being at full health and Void being almost dead, the plan here was just to parry heavy, get the deep wound bleeds that knock off 1% per piece, which you get 3 of them on a heavy, and he goes down really quick. So Stealth did do his part. Granted, I probably would have used Stealth here for Hulk, but I brought in Claire, and I'm going to switch to the poison stance, which means I'm going to get extra power gain. I'm going to try to launch off a lot of special 2s to put the debuff immunity on him, and look at that, I just totally miss right at the very beginning an L1 evade, and it's like, okay, there goes 60% of my health. So that wasn't a good start, but here I'm just gonna I switched to Incinerate. I think originally I was going to stay in poison mode, because then I can just keep the debuff immunity on him, which is going to keep the power gains off, and I can keep stealing his power. But I think I figured I'd just go all out with the Hellfire Incinerate mode and try to get as much damage as I could. And I do well here. I recover, and I'll be able to get Hulk down. Here I'm trying to bait his L2, gets it done, and yeah, I think as long as these guys are throwing specials, normally it's not going to be that big of a problem. Granted, don't play like a scrub like I have the first few fights. Again, this line, it just kind of always keeps you on your toes because of so much power gain. You have your crit buffs from dexing, feeding their power. If you get away from them, they get those power gain buffs, feeding their power. So you just got to really be aware of your spacing and whatnot. So Hulk is at 21%. I'm at 33%. And he is almost dead. But yeah, so Hulk is going to go down here. And I still got Black Widow alive, so that's good. So I'm going to go back in this next one. It's the Mystic Symbiote. Again, this is Prey on the Weak, Power From Afar. So he's going to get a lot of power gain. And as far as his specials go, he has a Black Bolt L1 and a Captain Marvel L2, the original Captain Marvel. So he's got that projectile beam on his L1 like Black Bolt, and then the little flip kick that Captain Marvel does on her L2. So this should have been an easy fight. But I do think I go in with Claire trying to get healed up. And I think I do die. And then I finish off with Doom. So here we're gonna go in with Claire. And so I should have been able to heal up. You don't have to worry about L3s, which is really nice. With Claire you can get some extra power gain when you put on the buff immunities. And they won't be able to get their power gain, so you'll get some clairvoyant charges. So there I've got a little bit of heal. Things are going pretty well. I think okay, this should be good. I should be able to heal back up and get back into the fight, especially because you don't have to worry about an L3. So like the power gain buffs, they aren't a bad thing in this fight that you really have to worry too much about. You can see I'm up to 8 clairvoyant charges. So if I ever did get up to like an L3, the L3 would hit fairly decent. So I'm gonna keep on throwing these L2s. Look at that, I'm back up to 57%. Oh yeah, I just miss a block. nothing crazy, just miss a block, and I just do that a few times on this line. And yeah, so we're gonna go back in with Doom. Doom is awesome for this line too, because you can nullify and steal the power gains. So it's really beneficial to like just kind of beefing up his cycle to spamming L3s, getting an L1, throwing the L2s. So if you have Doom, I definitely recommend him for this path. I also recommend Claire. Claire is great. Just don't die like I did. So with my Doom, I'm at 39%. So that's a lot of health for Doom. Granted, you'd rather be higher, but I am under the 50%. So I do have the Courage Mastery, kicking in, and then boom, he's dead. So we're gonna move on. The next fight after this Mystic Symbiote is Iron Man. And Iron Man is just regular OG Iron Man, but it does have the power gain stuff. But with Doom, you can lock that down. and it's really not a problem. The power gains help him to get into a cycle, so nothing too special here. I'll just let this play out, and I'll see you over at this next fight after him, which is going to be a Stark enhanced Spider-Man, which is could be a little bit more tricky. All right, we're just finishing up, getting another L3 off. Nothing too crazy here. Pretty standard fight. Nice to have that in this line. Up next is a Spider-Man Stark enhanced. Now, this one isn't too bad either. But if you do get evaded and you do get hit by this Sparky, it's gonna hurt. So just be aware of that. I was trying to be as conservative as possible with this one. I don't have a ton of health left, so I'm trying to just do a parry, get the shock on, and then do the passive stun heavy, and that will take off his Spider-Man charge. That gives him additional like evade and special evades and all that kind of stuff. So here I launch off the L3, and we get into our little cycle here, and he does have his charge down, so I can throw the special 1 and I can throw the special 2 still, and he's not going to evade any of that or not have as high of a chance, and he's melting, so like it's going really well. And then here I push him to L2, and can't remember what's gonna happen here. Oh, I thought maybe I'd be able to kill him with that special 3, and I took the chance and totally guessed wrong, and he got to special 3, and once he came out coming up off the ground, he immediately fired it, even though I was trying to hold block to see if the incinerates would burn him away. So yeah, so that wasn't ideal. I should have been a little bit more patient. And here we're going back in with Symbiote Supreme. Symbiote Supreme is actually a really good option for this line because it does have the mitosis, so you can dash back, hold block, and get that activated. And he's just going to nullify, you're going to stagger a whole bunch of those power gain buffs, so I'm just going to feed him. I have Mystic Dispersion 3 out of 5, so that really helps with the power gain. So Sparky, he goes down, and now we're going in with Medusa and Symbiote Supreme. He is a Medusa Slayer. So long as you can get some good RNG on those staggers, which so far is okay. The one thing to keep in mind is normally you're gonna stagger the Furies, but now you have the chance that your stagger is gonna consume those power gain buffs, which is kind of annoying because then you kind of have to play a little more passive. I mean, I guess if you do get auto blocked, it's not going to parry stun you, which kind of looks like I was playing that way, and I should have been a little more aggressive. Normally when I'm playing against like the normal AI that can't stun you, I'll just do a 2-hit combo and then carefully back off after the auto block happens and consumes the the Furies. And here I push her to L3. I do have the armor phase up, so I'm not taking a ton of damage from that L3 because it gets capped. And yeah, so there, get rid of the auto block. And yeah, so I'm just trying to let that bleed damage go to work, throw an L2, get the armor breaks. It's, you know, we're doing some good damage there. And yeah, right there. Got a little too aggressive and was not ready to get away from that L2. And I get smacked, so I die again. So I have, who do I have left? I have Magik. I only have Magik left, so I'm like, okay, I can do this. I can kill Medusa, and I should be able to solo the Venom boss, who I haven't faced yet. But based off of the notes that he had, I'm thinking this should still be okay. So here we're going away at Medusa there. I get rid of the auto block. Don't have to worry about the stun, and Medusa is close to being down. I think I'm gonna finish off. Yeah, right there with some limbo on that combo. So Medusa is down. So this line has not been kind. I haven't used any items or anything, so it's not the biggest deal. But I'm going into the boss fight, who I have not encountered yet, with just one champ, Magik. She's almost at full health, so that's good. And here he's got a bunch of special, enhanced special 2, energize. He's got buff duration, doesn't really matter. Mystic ward, okay. I think as far as Mystic Ward goes, that's actually beneficial to Magik if you use her as your counter to the boss, because when you get more damage for however many buffs are up that you are going to potentially nullify when you throw an L3, and the damage that she takes. The damage that she gives on the L3 isn't reliant on the buffs actually getting nullified. So, if he has 10 buffs up and you launch an L3, your L3 damage is scaled up significantly because you have those 10 buffs active. But when you come out of it, Mystic Ward can prevent those from being nullified, which is fine. Because the next time you get to an L3, you're going to have those 10 plus whatever else he builds up. So yeah, we're just going to try to play a little bit conservative here. We're going to do a lot of parry combos, just because I think I do some draft back intercepts like this right there. But if I can get potentially parries while limbo is up, then basically you'll get that healed back plus 5% because of my masteries. So, so far we got 80 hits. He's 64% down. He's got a lot of resistance and armor and all that. So, I'm just like, okay, this is going good. He's got a ton of buffs. Right now he's got 10, 16. He's got 20, almost 20 buffs on him. So an L3 is gonna do some major damage if I get to that. And here I'm just trying to keep on being aggressive, keep him power locked. While you can get back and evade the L2, it just really depends on where you are at, the spacing and stuff. So I'm doing okay. I'm like, okay, I can get this solo. If I launch an L3 anytime soon, it should do a ton of damage because of all the buffs that he has up. And we're going 150 hits now, and he's at 36%, 35%. I'm at 25%. I'm almost getting to that point where he's gonna get that true strike, which really shouldn't come into play really here. But yeah, so it will be any of his specials that he happens to throw, it will be unblockable. But okay, we're at 14%, 27%. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I should probably launch an L3 and dancing around, I don't know what, boom, I get hit again. And just eat a big Venom claw to the face and I die. So I wish I would have gotten that L3 off. It probably could have killed him. So here we're gonna throw a L1 revive. Doom is really good for this Venom boss. Basically, you just can spam the L1 after you push him to L2, keep him at L1, get your power gain, get to an L3, basically do your normal Doom cycle, and really pretty straightforward. I know that I used Doom to solo him in another lane, but this just kind of shows you. I mean, I threw just a 20% revive, no health pots or anything. Granted, he only had like a quarter of his health left, but you can pretty much keep him in this cycle the whole time because of the energized power gain. Plus your L1's going to be nullifying some of his buffs. And if you got Mystic Dispersion, again, which I do, I have 3 out of 5, you're just going to be feeding that cycle. And here I'm going to launch an L2 and it's going to burn him. And there we go. So we have the first path done. It wasn't the prettiest, but with one L1 revive, it's not terrible. Definitely could do better. But we get the completion rewards, which are really nice. And yeah, so that's going to be the first path. I'm going to have these other 3, 4, 5 paths uploaded here shortly. Thanks for stopping by and watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.